first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. Okay? The first and greatest victory is to conquer yourself. Who said these famous words? And do you agree with the man who wrote this a long, long time ago? BC. You know, is it still relevant in the 21st century? Amidst, especially year 2023, amidst the many geopolitical skirmishes happening around us, really now, okay, how important is this, right? So welcome to episode 103, and this is your fellow sojourner, Miss Malu Cervantes. Together, we are navigating, we're trying to live the autumn of our life, with the best intentions, with the best strategies, regardless of what's happening outside of our individual lives. And last episode, I began by asking, who said these words? Know thyself. And we talked about Socrates, and we talked about philosophy and the relevance of philosophy in our current life, especially in living our La Dolce Vita, And then we found out that it is as relevant and as critical as ever. Because philosophy, in its simplest definition, is love of wisdom. It is really asking the big questions about what's life. Where do I find meaning? Where do I go for truth and things like that? So it is not just a subject in school. It's not about old men with their words, which are in manuscripts, and all we have to do is memorize and pass and have a grade. We realize that philosophy is about learning how to think, not just what to think. And why is it important now? Why? Okay, because philosophy sharpens our thinking, it clarifies our values, and helps us to live more consciously. I didn't say that. Somebody said it and I copied it. Okay, but let me read it again. Right? Philosophy sharpens our thinking. That's what I'm after. Because it's all about critical thinking, finding out what works and what does not, what is true and what is false, and what is real and what is fake. It's very, very important. It clarifies our values. What do we stand for? Why do we do the things that we do? Okay? And of course, it helps us live more consciously, especially with AI, chat GPT is really very easy just to don't think. You just ask the AI bot, and then after that, okay, fine, I gave you the answer. But then if you ask me how I came out about that, don't ask me. Okay, as a machine. Okay, so is that living more consciously? Philosophy then becomes a personal compass in a noisy world. So many voices tell us what to do with our life, what even to eat, what to believe, how to dress up, how to think, how not to think. So many, many things. What should be our personal compass? Right? And I've said that, we are going to delve on this very deep or deeper because this is really going to help us live what the good life is as how we have designed it. Okay, so we've talked about what philosophy is, what is important. We have realized it's very critical. Okay, so that we can live our uniqueness, we can live life on our own terms and not just follow anybody out there in social media telling us what should be and what should not be. Okay, so in short, all right, philosophy teaches us how to live, not just how to think. Now again, who said this? Who really said this? Oh, another philosopher. His name is Seneca. All right. Now, what are the traits? What makes a person a philosopher? I think that's the next question I've asked myself, and I'd like to share it with you. Because, we may not think like Socrates, we may have other ways of thinking, we may not think like Plato or Seneca, so which means that we can never be philosophers. That's a very, very good question. So, a philosopher is not just someone with a degree in philosophy. Well, before I finally decided to major in political science in college, okay, I was toying with the idea of majoring either in psychology or in philosophy. Because I love deep thinking. I love questioning everything, like what is there to life? Why do people do what they do? Why are people so different? I'm very, very intrigued by these facts and these questions. And I was really thinking seriously about pursuing a degree in philosophy. But then again, so that makes me a philosopher if I did, because I finished a baccalaureate degree major in political science. Because during my time in college, it was a very turbulent years in Philippine history. And I was out there, fighting for a cause and all of that. And political science seems to have interested me. Well, of course, I do not regret that. I do not really regret it. No? Right now, as a consultant, I do a lot of psychology studies, special studies. And now philosophy, I am just surprised that it's not just, getting a degree in philosophy to become a philosopher. Huh? Yeah, that's right. Because a philosopher is anyone. So that means you, me, our other fascinating Renaissance friends, could be your mom, your dad, even your 13-year-old kid. They can be philosophers. Why? Because a philosopher is anyone who reflects deeply about life. Oh, asks meaningful questions and lives with awareness and integrity. Now, integrity is more than just honesty. Integrity comes from the mathematical word integer, which means whole. So it means living a whole life. Our actions correspond to our values. Our actions and our thoughts correspond to our feelings, and the total alignment of body, mind, and spirit. So let's get back to that. A philosopher is anyone who reflects, number one, deeply about life. Okay. Ask deep and meaningful questions and lives with awareness. Okay. Being aware of what's happening so that we will not be fooled. Well, the modern term now is being mindful and living a life of integrity. All right? Wow. So, which means anybody can. So, what are the traits that we need to develop so that we can be a philosopher and develop our own philosophies, which could help other people, live also very purposeful and intentional lives? First trait, curiosity about truth and meaning. We simply need to be curious, like why this and why that? How come this person, comes from a good family and ends up doing messy things to mess up their lives? Another one, willingness to question assumptions. There you go. Let me stop there for a while. Well, psychology says that if you don't have enough information, the mind supplies assumptions to give meaning to whatever we experience. So if there are no data, what do? We make assumptions. Are those assumptions correct? Well, that's the reason why we have to question it. Just because we assume, just because we think, it means it's already the correct or even the most effective one. The willingness to question. Third, the commitment to personal growth and ethical living. We'll talk about that much later. See, you commit and the courage and the bravery to think independently. Out of this, I would like to focus on the first one in the next episode, curiosity about truth and meaning, the courage to think independently so we can weigh things, because one school of thought says this, another school of thought says that, especially in politics, depending on what party you subscribe to, which is right. Bombing Iran's nuclear sites, is that good or bad? Well, you can have as many sides as you can think of, saying no, yes, maybe, etc. Okay, so yes, a farmer, okay, a mother, a janitor, or a teenager can be a philosopher because they seek wisdom in how they live. Okay, so for now, my friends, let it be, because the next episode we can talk about several ancient philosophers and modern philosophers, but the most important thing here is how do we become one? You like that? Okay, then don't forget to like and subscribe so that you will not miss out on any of the uploads that uploads of this YouTube, and together we will continue to live our good life. Until then, this is Malu Cervantes, your fellow sojourner, your life coach. Together we are living, the best years of our life, the autumn of our life. Goodbye.